They even described it like that. This is not the thing. This is just the opening ceremony for for the tournament that we're about to embark on for the next 9 to 15 months. The thing that I do want to call the dialogue out for, in all fairness, and I think they must take responsibility for, the communication is very bad, and quite honestly, a lot of people don't know what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the On the podcast.
Am I allowed to swear there?
In Sweden.
Yeah, I know we said let's not blame the government.
It's just sad when we start them becoming indoctrinated. Your view on me.
Welcome to another episode of the On the Country with Emilio Tobias. I'm Emilio Tobias, and this is the On the Country podcast. Thank you for joining. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching, and thank you for being here. We just wrapped up day 1 of the National Dialogue Convention. I think it's a 3-day opening convention type of a deal, and based on the video that we had yesterday, you can check it out. We did have some questions, and some of those questions and those assumptions that I made in the video were kind of cleared up or confirmed in some way or another. I must say, at first glance, things are like a bit messy. Things were a bit messy. It seemed like poorly organized. Not like even poorly organized, but you know the thing where you're at a wedding and then someone comes to the MC and tells you about a car's number plate. So that type of thing was happening, where people were coming up to the MC and saying like, yo man, we must do it this way, we must do it that way. The first thing, no one's fault really. Someone must still explain what happened. And I don't believe like in good or bad omens, but someone who believes in those things would say it's a bad omen for in the first 10 seconds of the national dialogue starting, or the convention, someone had a medical emergency. I don't know if someone fainted or someone was too excited or someone had a psychiatric episode due to being overwhelmed. Some people get social anxiety in rooms that are that big. Some people had to wake up at 3 to travel from Mpumalanga to go to the National Dialogue opening what convention. So I was just like, yay, what's going on? Day 1, first 10 minutes, that was interesting. But a thing that was cleared up in today's thing, which is what I kind of felt, that this is just the opening ceremony. It's not the thing. They even described it like that. This is not the thing. This is just the opening ceremony for for the tournament that we're about to embark on for the next 9 to 15 months. Now, the thing is, they mentioned that the types of topics and things we would discuss, Cyril even said in his speech, and I want to touch on some of those things. Not to discuss the topic itself, but just to discuss it as a topic, if that makes sense. I don't want to delve into the merits of the topic. I just want to discuss the topic as being a topic. But the thing that I do want to call the dialogue out for, in all fairness, and I think they must take responsibility for, is poor communication. It's poor communication. The social media pages are starting to post things now, but it's more like a social media influencer posting those things, a social media manager posting those things. We need them to post more substantive information on social media, at least for now, while we figure out exactly what's going on. Maybe they feel on some level if their communication is too detailed, or maybe there is no detail to give at the moment. Maybe it's too detailed, then it's going to appear like it's being led by the officials of this thing. So the communication is very bad, and quite honestly, a lot of people don't know what's going on. I will say that negative or that criticism is not enough to make me to wane my optimism. This is something I think is very needed and has been needed for a long time. This is something that I want to put 100%, 110% in participating in any way. I don't know why I feel my voice is so important, but I also think a lot of people should take it as seriously as I take it. You know, while the thing was going on, I was starting to think about the types of stuff we can discuss or may discuss. I hope after, because they're having an afternoon session for all the people that are there now, and they've been broken away into the 1.2 thousand people have been broken up into groups, and they have been given predetermined topics, which I feel might be just a time, not a time wasting, a time filler. It's a time filler because why would they be having discussions on topics that was decided on by Cyril and his team? Those might just be the main biggest topics right now, and it might be an icebreaker. So we are all speculating on how well or how badly this thing is run. They now need to come out and tell us how all the dialogues are going to work. So some of the topics, here's a thing that I want to talk about. Some of the topics that I realized that we didn't even realize that this could be a thing. When they were opening and singing the national anthem, I realized like, oh, the national anthem and maybe even the flag might be topics for discussion. Those national symbols. One of the stories about the anthem is the inclusion of the stem in the anthem, and sometimes that gets misconstrued into people not wanting Afrikaans in the anthem, but it's not about the Afrikaans, it's about the song and where it comes from. Will we now have a conversation and decide once and for all which way we're going to go? And then once we've decided in this dialogue that we're keeping the anthem as is, do we now go forward and own it and what did they do to the N-word? Reappropriate the meaning and the potency of such symbols? Or do we now change it and then find a person to come and write a nice Afrikaans part of the anthem? Are we still happy with the flag? Some questions might be asked and the answers will be obvious, and the conversation there around will not be longer. As far as I know, everyone is happy with the flag as it is. But I'm just putting it out there as like, as we start to grasp the type of questions we're gonna ask, the type of conversations we're going to have. Cyril brought up, and I don't know, or maybe we didn't catch this. This was him showing his stance on illegal foreigners and what's happening at the clinic. Cyril said, hey man, maybe one of the questions we must ask is, why does medicine run out at the clinic? Real, fair, honest question. And the discussions will go around, man, poor management, budget in health, foreigners using up resources, or illegal foreigners using up resources. What should be done to solve it? And this is not me saying anything. This is me saying, are we going to be humane about it, or are we not going to be humane about it? Are we going to be urgent with such an issue, or are we going to find other ways to include illegal foreigners? America has been speaking about, and they have a similar issue, but it seems like they're playing hot potato with the parties on the different aisles, working on easier and more efficient ways to become a citizen. I don't know if such a plan is being ran with in South Africa. Are we gonna, is deportation the answer, or are we going to try find a way to make them legal and find a process to help them become legal, make it easier for them to be legal? All those things, those are all topics for discussion. I have not even given my stance. I even have a thing that I wrote down. Yes, it was messy. Yes, there was a medical emergency. We're going to talk about the flag. We're going to talk about GBV. Why are women afraid most of the time? Why are women afraid in the communities that they live? GBV is a real problem. But now my question is, and I feel like a lot of people might be scared to have that conversation. We're constantly saying, men, go and discuss amongst yourself what the issue is. And I think that is definitely, it sounded like a good idea the first few weeks when that type of advice was given. But I don't think it's a conversation that men should have alone, at least. That also can be seen as a controversial thing to say, like, I don't think the GBV question is for men alone to discuss. And when we're opening the dialogue, when we're having the dialogue, yes, let's get angry. Yes, let's express ourselves. But is it a safe space to express or to give, what they call those things? Dissenting views? Views that are different from yours, views that are contrary to what society deems appropriate? Are you at least able to put forward those ideas so that they may be rejected or explained or explained away? But very important, things like GBV, are we going to have a real conversation? The real conversation has not been had, I think, because the ones who do not want to have the conversation feel like the outcomes or the recourse will be different from what it is now. They might feel certain questions that the other side wants to ask might justify in one way or another. We need to speak about difficult things and not be scared to say it. We need to have, like we've been having in the past 2 days, but more intense, more detailed, and more pointed conversations about race and racism, what it is, what it isn't. Because we've been classified into groups, we must remember sometimes those classifications put certain pressures on us and how we should behave in relation to other races and how we should behave in relation to our own race. Essentially, what is tribalism compared to racism? Not tribes as in the only Zulu, Sotho, Xhosa is not the only tribes. Tribalism exists amongst neighborhoods. This neighborhood reps their side no matter what in that neighborhood, and there might be no racial or ethnic divide. So I'm not more tribalism in the sense of Zulu people don't like anyone else. No, but these conversations must be had. Can we have them freely? Can we have them openly? And can we not invalidate, even if someone's opinion is somewhat wrong, let's not invalidate and reduce this dialogue to what dialogue is on Twitter. So, just to put a few things out there. Another thing, there was a lady there who was representing the unemployed youth in some capacity. And this was like, I guess, icebreakers, just opening us to the idea or give us ideas of the types of engagements and the levels of engagements and the varied types of engagements that we are about to have. I thought of shame, man. The minister, and I managed mentioned it on the podcast before. Something dope that the former Minister of Higher Education spoke about. And something I wish to put forward on the table is how we praise and push for this excellent higher echelon type of jobs. How we always pushing people to be lawyers and doctors, and what that essentially creates is that when you've been in school for so long and you don't want to be a doctor, you don't want to be a lawyer, or you're not able to, you're not inclined that way to become a doctor or astronaut, you feel like a failure. And in turn, anyone who ventures into blue-collar work, artisanal work, such people are made to feel that they can't be proud of what they managed to achieve as a welder, as a boilermaker, as a mechanic, as a nurse, as a civil servant. It sort of has created this environment where you're only getting props for those high achieving stuff. We're only pushing our kids to aim for those things. And I think as South Africa, our mindset should change. I understand where we come from and what we were countering by pushing higher education the way we have been. But it's created a sub layer where we're discriminating on class now as well. It's created a classist sting to the anti-racism that we've been trying to fight. So, up for discussion, let's push hard work. Let's push working hard and doing your best more than we push for people to become astronauts. Because the people, if we are all pushed to work hard, the ones who are inclined to become astronauts and to become physicists and to become these extreme, excellent, one-of-a-kind, Nobel Peace winning people, those people will reveal themselves. They will not be lost in the message of hard work being the most important thing. But at least what it does is someone who's a 60%er or a 50%er does not have to feel less proud of what they managed to build in their lives. And I think it used to be like that back in the day, with obviously other things going on that massively outweighed that positive attitude towards working and work. Those are the type of things that are out there. But please drop a comment. Let us know the types of conversations we need to have. Mention the ones that I haven't mentioned. Mention the sectors or the category or the genre of the topic. Let's see how far and how wide this conversation is going to be. I'm very optimistic. I hope everyone engages on this thing on every level possible. That's all from me for today. Maybe we'll give a review on whatever the activities are tomorrow, which we have no idea. Once again, poor communication. It really looks bad, especially for the ones who are claiming that this thing is appearing to be government-led and not citizen-led. So let us know what's happening in advance. Let us know what you as the government are putting forward. What tools are you putting at our disposal for us to be able to take this thing and move it forward. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the On the Third podcast.
Am I allowed to swear there?
In Sweden.
Yeah, I know we said let's not blame the government.
It's just sad when we start them
No, but-
becoming indoctrinated. Your view on me.